Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 22 with Hull. And where we left off, we were just kicked out of the FA Cup by Liverpool, which was an understandable result. We were playing against a Premier League team as a Championship side, so it was an expected result. And then we had a fairly good game against Huddersfield, winning 3-1. In that time since then, we've played these games here, and we've got the last two games of the season, Sheffield United and Coventry. We had a really poor run of form over February, and I was saying in the last video we need to pick ourselves up. And I think the poor run of form happens quite often when you're having a good FA Cup run. It just seems to affect the results within the league. As you can see, it got heavily affected. But we had a good run. We got a draw against Bristol and then a loss against West Ham. But other than that, all wins across the board. Starting to get some goals from Boyd Mwamba finally. So he's starting to do something and justify his cost. Because we got him not for loads of money, but 650 grand. But still, enough money for me to want a better sort of performance than what he's been giving earlier in the season for us. So we got these last two games. Two players have gone, not things. So in March, actually I believe Matthews might have left as well in that time. When was the Huddersfield game? Yeah, so 3 players have left, 1 on loan and 2 permanently. So Robert Matthews was our young right back who's gone to Ebbsfleet for the rest of the season. He's played 6 games already. I think they just needed a backup, and he's not going to be in the first team as of yet. You know what? He's not far off though. His potential is massive, and he's already 2 stars at 19 years old, so he's definitely one to watch out for. I think he might be a fairly decent defender for us in the future. But Greg Doherty, who 32-year-old Scottish midfielder, we got an offer from DC United for, how much was it? For 2.6 million. He wasn't worth. I think I even upped it a little bit. I think it was 2 million when he came in with an offer, and we upped it to 2.6. So 2.6 for a 32-year-old who's declining. I mean, he was important to the team, but that money will help us bring in a player to replace him younger and longer, in the time that we have to manage him. Because I think next season he would definitely be in decline, and we'd need to find a replacement for him. So it was not great timing because of when they signed him, like right before the end of our season. But we got money for him. He's been a great player for us. Look how long he's played for us, years and years. Played first team that whole time. I think this is him going for the big money so that he can kind of retire on that. I mean, what is he on? 8.5? I don't know what he was on with us, but probably wasn't too much different to that. But a lot of players, when they reach this sort of age, go MLS because they're it's an easier league for them to succeed in. And then Kryev, who's 31-year-old Bulgarian, again, been with us for not as long, but for quite a few years. Been okay. I mean, his first season was his best season, and he hasn't quite reached that potential in that time. He's always got a few goals here and there, but nothing too amazing. But we got an offer for 3.7 million. Again, I think I managed to get a little bit more money from him. Look at what he's on, 36 grand a week. He's absolutely loving it over there with Al Nazir. They are Saudi Arabian, so obviously have a fair bit of money about them. They've already got a few older players, which they use. I think it was Mark Roca, Spanish 32-year-old. So they seem to be this, and Kim Jin-soo as well, 36-year-old Korean. So they're that sort of team who bring in the older talents who might be kind of dipping off a little bit, but because their league is probably a bit easier, they can succeed there, and they get a buttload of money while they're playing there. So it was kind of hard to keep either of them because they both were going for bigger money per month or per week even for their wages. And we got 3.7, which I think is a fairly decent amount of money for a declining striker. as good as he was, he this season didn't do fantastic for us. 28 games, 7 goals, 2 assists. Not massive numbers, and we already had a replacement that we brought in either Bonucci or Hugill. So, I think either way, it kind of we aren't losing him too much because we've got Hugill and Bonucci who can step up and hopefully do something special with their time at Hull. I mean, Hugill is probably the most likely to succeed short term. I'm hoping Bonucci will get over this weird patch of not being able to put the ball in the back of the net. He's playing really well as a deep lying forward though, and playing that through ball and stuff. He's already got a few assists out recently doing that, so he's definitely starting to pick up. Same with Boyd Nwamba. He's had a rocky start, but he's starting to pick up that style of play that we've got. So yeah, we're doing all right. We've got a few injuries, suspensions and things like that. So Kickenborg got injured, Buchanan got injured, Lewis Potter got I think it was a broken wrist, yeah, so he's going to be out till the end of the season. So we basically don't have one of our best players. Boyd Nwamba and Paul Vaughan are the people who are stepping up to fill that like void. Simmons has been insane since signing for us. He's been absolutely fantastic signing. Ramsey is wanted. Who's he wanted by? Fulham, who I think are in our league. So hopefully he's not going to see Fulham as a better team and want to go. If he does go, we're looking for 10 million plus for him because he's a fantastic player for us. Paul Vaughan as well is actually wanted by Barnsley, who again, championship side. He's decent and quite young. Young English players are quite hard to come by, so I'm not really looking to get rid of him. The only player which I might be tempted to get rid of this end of this season is Dylan Phillips, who Middlesbrough, who are a Premier League side, are interested. If we could get anywhere near that higher mark, 3.4 mil, that's quite good for a 33-year-old player. And then Menez and maybe even bring in Kickenborg to be those sort of backup, go into the first team, or see if we can bring in another keeper. But that's all after these last 2 games. And something really interesting has happened in this time. Like, these good results have actually put us the same points as West Ham in 6th place for a playoff spot. Somehow, when I joined in January, we were where Huddersfield are now. We were bottom of the league, Hull. And somehow, in my first season, we could potentially get playoffs. Like, it's an actual, like, realistic thing that we might be able to get. I don't know how. I think West Ham are doing pretty well overall. You can look at the form table, can't you? I can't remember how you do that. Oh, form, there you go. So we are actually on the best form at the moment in the league. We're a West Ham. They are really low down on their form. So we just need them to drop a few points and us to be able to keep this form going. And we might be into the playoffs, which would be mad, given that we were expecting to try and avoid relegation this season. So really impressive turnaround from the lads. I've been switching to and from in my tactics, 4-4-2 and 4-2-3-1. 4-4-2 just seems to be more consistent. So I'm going to stick with 4-4-2. We do occasionally drop a game or two or something, but I think we're more likely to get a result in this sort of formation. I might, at the end of the season, look at doing a completely different formation that I haven't used before, but I just don't know which one and how to set them up, so I might even have to do a little research online or something. I have seen in a lot of FM22 gameplays, there's the diamond, so like 1 defensive mid, 2 central mids, an attacker mid, and 2 strikers. But then I like playing wingers, and that puts a lot of pressure on these two to get forward, and we don't have attacking wing backs, which just then causes problems because we have to go out and find good, speedy attacking wing backs, which is not easy to do when you don't have loads of money. So 4-4-2 is the formation we're going for. The team we're going for is Phillips in goal, Stevens, Egan Riley, Terrace, and Ruffin in defence. We are still waiting for Feeney to come back from injury, so we're missing him in defence, which is not ideal. We will probably look at bringing in a better backup centre back in the summer. And then in midfield, we've got Vaughan, Ramsey, Simmons, and Mwamba, who actually, Lewis Potter, Mwamba switch round. That's probably our better midfield anyway. And then Bonucci and Afolabi up front with Hugill on the bench, ready to be an impact sub. And that's probably what I would say closest to our best team that we have. So we're going up against Sheffield United, who are second in the league. So this is going to be a hard game, but if we can get a result, it means that we're in a really strong position to try and challenge for that 6th place playoff spot. At this point, I actually feel like it's probably way too early for us to try and get playoffs and get into the Premier League. So I kind of hope we don't get through, because if that does, it means that we're going to have to try and build a team in the Premier League, whereas if we were to build a team in the Championship, there's a little less pressure and some easier games in there. But we'll take what we get, and we'll give nothing back, to quote Pirates of the Caribbean. But let's jump into the game and see what happens. Let's go pick up where you left off, because we had a really good game last time. And then make me proud, boys. Make me proud. And then in the tunnel, weather out there is less than ideal. How will this affect the match? I think we're the sort of team that can handle anything that's thrown at us. It's not the best weather to play in, but we will have to deal with it. Let's go with that. What do you attribute your recent good home run to? Nothing without our fans. Truly our extra player. All down to hard work. There's no substitute for that. Hard work, I'll say. Give the lads a little bit of respect. So let's jump in this game and see. It's a home game as well, which is good for us. Okay, so throw into Sheffield to begin with. They're playing it around defence, and it's absolutely tipping it down. Look at that. It's going to be a wet and windy day in Hull. I don't actually know the name of our stadium, actually. That's terrible, isn't it? I should probably look that up. But it might work to our advantage, being this rainy and horrible. Okay, Pickford. Wow, Jordan Pickford's playing for Sheffield United there. Humps. I was going to say humps it forward, but it just sounds wrong, doesn't it? Hits it forward. Now Phillips has it. I'm so distracted now. Stevens has the ball on the wing, plays it back to Egan Riley. Egan Riley to Stevens again. Plays it all the way back to Phillips, to Terrace. Terrace out to Ruffin. Ruffin to Mwamba. Good passing, lads. Afolabi, nice. He's surrounded by people, though. Did really well to get out of that. Afolabi is actually in good scoring form at the moment. As I was moaning before, he's not been that consistent, but forces a good save from Pickford. Cross in. Oh my goodness. Please count. No. Why? Bonucci is cursed never to get a goal, I swear. But we get to half time and it's 0-0, which isn't a terrible result for us so far. Mwamba's not playing great. Stevens isn't playing great. I think probably go out there. I have faith in you. I have faith in you. I have faith in you. And then we're going to go to tactics, and we are going to take Stevens off. He's been booked. He's not playing fantastic. Scott has actually, one of our signings over January, has been a really good backup right back, and might even be our first choice right back next season if he continues to impress, to be honest. I have no other options. Boyd Mwamba's going to have to just play on and play better, really. But yeah, I think other than that, I'm happy with the team, and no one's too tired. So I can see Boyd Mwamba's already a 6.4. Oh, he's gone up. You never know. He might do something special this second half. Okay, 70 minutes and there's not really no highlights or anything, so we're going to have to make some changes for tired legs. Colwell is coming on for Ramsey because he is looking shattered. Simmons for Bobby Carroll, and that's all the changes we can make. So centre back and right mid is not going to be able to get any changes. So let's hope that we're not going to get any injuries from those guys, because they're people we can't afford to lose for the last game of the season. Wow, and we get to full time, and I don't think there was a single highlight for that second half. I mean, a 0-0 is a good result any other time against a Sheffield United team who are second in the league. We dominated possession. We actually had a fair amount of shots compared, similar to them. XG wasn't quite as good. I mean, we played all right. It wasn't the best game. We were unlucky today. I will say that. We if that Bonucci goal would have counted, it would have been a different story. But from the looks of it, West Ham have also dropped points. Where's West Ham? Where are you at? Where are they? Or have they not played? Where are you at? I'm so confused. Did they play Swansea? Yeah, they did. There you go. 1-1. So they dropped points as well. It's going down to the last game of the season if we get into the playoffs. My goodness. I don't think my heart can take this. Okay, so we are going to jump ahead to the last game of the season. If we win and West Ham draw or lose, we are into the playoffs, I think. Is there anyone below us who can... If Swansea win, 3 points, they go 1 point. So if we both lose and Swansea win, they go ahead. If we win and West Ham lose and Swansea win, we still go ahead. So we go into the playoffs. And if West Ham win and we win, West Ham go ahead because their goal difference is so much more than ours. Okay, so it's going to be a tricky one. We're relying on West Ham to mess up, basically, for the last game of the season. They are playing Ipswich, who are 11th, and we are playing Coventry, who are 18th, but we are playing away from home. It's all going to come down to this last day. It's quite cool, actually. I quite like the way it's all worked out. I wasn't expecting this at all for our first season, but we'll go for it and see what happens. But yeah, we're going to jump ahead now to the Coventry game. So see you in a second. Well, there you go. Just a quick note to say we obviously have had a fairly good month to finish up the season because we have gone and got Manager of the Month, which is pretty impressive for our first season in charge of Hull to be getting awards already. So I'm happy with that, and hopefully we're going to be doing even more when we play against Coventry and get ourselves into the playoffs. We'll see what happens though. So be back in a second for the Coventry game. Okay, so we are at the Coventry game, and I don't think I'm going to change the squad from our draw against Sheffield because although Sheffield we didn't score a goal, we definitely played very well against them, and I think this squad has got what it takes. We've got a lot of talent on the bench. Probably last game I should have brought on Hugo near the end in place of Bonucci, but you know, you live and learn. We've got a few people who are nearly back from injury, and I just don't want to risk it. Feeney especially. I mean, he would be great to have on there, but he can only play 45 minutes. I feel like it's not worth risking like further injury for like next season. So we're going for the same squad: Phillips, Stevens, Egan Riley, Terrace and Ruffin, then Vaughan, Ramsey, Simmons, Mwamba, and then Bonucci and Afalobi. So let's jump into this game and see if we can secure our spot on the in the playoffs, which would be mad if we got to the playoffs. And like, there's a chance that we could get to the Premier League in our first season managing in the Championship, which is just insane. So hopefully the lads will be able to step up to the occasion and get us the result to push us on. But then even then, I'm looking at the playoffs: West Brom, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, West Ham. There's no easy games there. Like, all of those could easily beat us. So we are without a doubt the odd one out in that team, I think, in that selection of teams even. The Hull side can book a spot in the playoffs. Are you confident of seeing it through and getting the required result? Put ourselves in the best possible position already, so I have faith that the players will now see it through. Your team hit a purple patch in front of goal recently. That's got to be pleasing. Scoring goals is always fun. Love it. Okay, let's skip ahead and start this game. Okay, first chance of the game, 27 minutes in, it's a throw into us. Played back, all the way back to defence. Stevens has it to Ruffin, to Ramsey. on the outside of the box, plays it in, but gets it back. Bonucci, what a time to get your first goal. I love it. That's when you need your player who's not been playing that great to step up, because he's going to make himself a legend in no time. Poor defending by them, but Bonucci just gets it, turns around and absolutely levers it into that bottom corner. Love it. I'm glad I put faith in him now. 1-0 to Hull. Okay, corner to Coventry. Headed flippin' heck. I don't even know where that bounced. But amazingly, that didn't go in, and we're still 1-0 up. And we go into half-time 1-0 up. Everyone's playing fairly well. Vaughan's not having the best of games. Mwamba, both the wingers struggling a little bit. Terrace is looking tired. So we're going to have to look at subbing him off. These fans turn up through thick and thin. Remember that as you go out today, I guess. Oh, by the way, as well, something I didn't mention, I changed my assistant manager because of his terrible suggestions for team talks. I got one which has got a lot higher like stats, but his team talks haven't been that much better either, like his suggestions. So I don't know if that made any difference. But we're going to go into the second half without making any changes and see if we can hold on to this lead. Oh, damn. Already Vaughan is injured. So we're going to have to take him off for Fevier. I think it's Fevier. He will play on the right as an inverted winger support. Yeah, let's drop him back for a support if that's his better playing position. Everyone else, I think... I mean, what I could do is a bit bold, but bring on Hugill for Afalobi. He has been scoring recently, Hugill, and it might be a good change to think about doing in terms of getting an extra goal. But immediately, Coventry are now on the attack. Oh, and you could just feel that was going to go in. Great cross to the back post. Defender lost him. And now we're 1-0. 1-0 down? We're 1-1. So it's just a draw, but that means that results will have to go our way elsewhere if we're going to get into the playoffs. But Egan Riley is starting it up again. Maybe we have another chance. Ramsey with a brilliant run, but he loses it. And now we're on the back foot and they're going to hit us on the counter. Come on, boys. Let's not throw it away now. Headed clear. Well done. Mwamba headed to one of the Coventry players. Disappointing to see that. He's really not had a great season for us so far. Headed down, but same move to get 2-1 down. What is going on, lads? Come on. Mwamba's just playing awful. We need more depth on the left. That's the one thing I really know. We're going to pause it. 60 minutes in. We're going to go attacking. We're going to shout some encouragement. I don't really have any other changes I can make at the moment. So, Fevier. Oh, that's got to be a penalty. No? Bonucci still has it though. Ramsey to Bonucci to Ramsey. In the box, up to Hugill, but no, can't. And now Coventry on the counter. And that Philogene Bidance is an absolute pain. He's scored 2 against us already to pretty much kill our chances of getting into the playoffs. And what a finish into the top corner. What a crumbling performance by Hull. First half we played so well, and I've got to take off Mwamba. I don't know who to take him off for. We don't have any other options. But he's just playing awful. Maybe Colwill and play him as a wide playmaker. Attack. This is the problem. We have no depth on that left-hand side. Okay, and then let's shout some more encouragement. See if we can get him moving a little bit. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the game. It's still 3-1. Stevens with a long ball forward to Colwill, but not quite there. The long ball forward, and our defence is a shambles today. Oh, terrible back pass. And whoever this guy is, Liliwan? I don't know. Terrace with that awful back pass. He's been playing really well today, but I don't even want to see that again. Our whole defence is just thrown in the towel. A corner to us, nothing from it. We don't want any more highlights. We just want this game over. 4-1. And I said we probably weren't ready for promotion. That's really been shown to us that we weren't ready. Areas we need improvement. Stevens, right back, we need a new right back. And left midfield, we need we need cover for when Lewis Potter isn't playing well or isn't. Mwamba just isn't that, I don't think. We probably need to play Mwamba. I don't even know where. I have a little bit of buyer's regret with that guy now because I don't think he's good enough. But we'll give him another season and see, because we put some money in for him, so weren't good enough. I was going to throw a bottle, but considering we were 24th when I started, and we were expected to be battling to get out of relegation, to come 8th place and be disappointed we didn't land in the playoffs, you can't really complain there. Even West Ham won against Ipswich, which put them... There was no way we would have got there even if we'd have won. So the only positive I can take from this is Bonucci finally got his first goal, and hopefully next season he'll become a bit more of a goal-scoring threat for us. So that's the end of our season, and I have to end it shouting at my team. Colwell reveals Scribble's fury at that loss, but to be fair, they chucked it away in the second half, and it's right that we give them a little bit of a shouting at, just to make sure they know that that's not what we're going to be expecting next season. So overall, let's have a look at where we came in the Championship. So West Ham, we would have been playing Nottingham Forest, and I think that would have been a hard game, so that's fine. Happy with where we ended up. It would have been amazing if we would have been able to get that playoff spot, but that's just what we got to aim for next season. Maybe even the promotion spot there where Sheffield United are. But yeah, overall, 8th place, can't really complain, can we? It was a really good performance. Second half of the season by the lads, which pushed us all the way up the table, and we can't have asked for more, really. There are definitely areas I need to improve. I've brought in some strikers, which hopefully will start to improve our striking options. There might be another striker that's needed there. But we do have actually Healy, who went on loan, 20 games, 4 goals, 2 assists for... Who is he playing for? Barnet. But he might be our young striker that we have on the bench. 23-year-old Irish attacking mid striker. He can also play central mid if we need him to. I mean, he might be the player that we lean on a little bit next season to see if we can get him to start performing. Bonucci's definitely going to try and get him more comfortable in that role and getting more goals. Afolabi, I mean, 29-year-old striker, he gets 17 goals this season. It's not bad, but I don't think if there's an offer that comes in for him for enough, I mean, he's only worth 3.5. If we can get 3.5, 4 mil for him, I'll sell him and I'll bring in another striker, basically. And then there's a few other young'uns, but Phillips is probably going to be the hardest to replace, and we definitely need our right back situation sorted. I might even see if I can flog Stevens for around about 3 mil and see if we can get a better right back in place of him. But I think for this video as well, we're going to skip ahead to the season review, and then for the next video we'll come back at the beginning of the season and go over transfers and everything that's happened in that. So be back in a second for the season review. Okay, so we're at the end of season review, so let's have a look and see what because obviously we came in halfway through the season, and there are some signings here. Some signings here. We didn't sign any. Colwell, Egan Riley, Finn Stevens, but everyone else actually we did sign, so they didn't do a lot of business from the looks of it this season. So signing of the season, Javier Simons, still unsure how to pronounce it, which one it is, but he is definitely signing the season for me. He fitted into the role that we needed him to perfectly, and if we hadn't signed him when Doherty, I think his name was, went to America, we would have been in trouble. But he really did an amazing job there. Although the board gave me a D, doesn't represent a good deal for the club. I disagree. That was definitely a good deal for the club. We then brought in Jack Scott, who's like the second place one. I think actually, me talking about we need a new right back, why didn't I play Scott yesterday? Yesterday? What am I talking about? Why didn't I play Scott on the last game of the season? Because I think he is also... Oh, he hasn't got loads of room to improve. Okay. Finn Stevens doesn't either. They're basically the same on the same level, but Finn Stevens has reached his potential and Jack Scott hasn't. Okay, so basically, I think we sell Finn Stevens, we keep Jack Scott as a backup, and then we try and sign someone who's a little bit better. Hugill, I think 4 games, 4 goals isn't bad for 52 grand transfer. That's not too shabby, is it? Finn Stevens, we've already talked about. We signed him for 800 grand. He's going. We signed him from Coventry as well. Is that it? Is that right? No, Charlton. I'm so confused. We signed him from Charlton, I think. Yeah, we signed him from Charlton. Okay. I don't know why Coventry's there. Okay. Anyway. Gustavo Diaz actually played a few games, played 3 games, got 1 goal on his debut. I'm fairly happy with him. I think when he gets to 23, 24, there's an F. They feel like it's a terrible deal. Just give us a couple of seasons, he'll be good. Don't worry. Bonucci, if he hadn't got that last goal, I would have been talking a lot differently about him. But I think that was... I think he's been a good addition and definitely something we need. A young striker that we can build up at the club. Colwill for them was probably their best signing at the start of the season. He's been really good for us. And I think just suffers from being in the same position as Ramsey. So I might need to look at how to play both of them together. Egan Riley is okay. I'm not blown away by him. But he's 26. Yeah, I'm not blown away. I think he could be better. Mwamba is a B-, really? Mainly down to transfer deal was so low. And his minimum release fee clause is 9 million. So... hopefully someone will trigger that because he got 3 goals and an assist. He has more bad games than good. So I'm not look how far down the list he is. So 6.71 isn't really ideal. Poor old Menez had 1 game where he conceded so many goals. He didn't play well, but I didn't actually get a chance to give Kickenborg a game, which is kind of annoying because I'm thinking of signing him permanently. I'm not sure. I think he probably is a good bet to sign permanently because he looks like he's going to be a fantastic player in the future. But yeah, it's just if we want to splash the cash on another young keeper that won't be ready yet. We'll see. But yeah, that's all the signings. Overall, we're going to do a lot more this coming transfer window now that we've got a full season with Hull. So let's go to the results. C+, I thought it'd be a little bit higher than that, seeing as we managed to scrape our way out of relegation only halfway through the season. But yeah, we did alright. We did alright in the FA Cup, and we did alright in the Carabao as well. So, and then moments to remember, 3-0 win against Nottingham Forest, 1-0 against Huddersfield, and the goal of the season was one for us. One that we actually, because those 2 games to remember were games which we weren't managing at the time, but this goal is one that we were managing for. So let's see what the goal was for goal of the season. Little passing play, Doherty, and then top corner by Hugo. What a goal! See, that's the kind of thing where I'm hoping he's going to be able to smash out a lot more of them next season, because he will make that 52 grand look like an absolute steal. Finances, I've not really been looking too deeply into that, but overall we're still making loads of money from the looks of it. How we lined up, obviously this is actually probably how we lined up for our half of the season. So they're looking at Kraev, Afolabi, and Mwamba, Colwill. Yeah, basically that is, apart from Simmons would go there, but we had to play Simmons in centre back because we were so lacking in depth on centre back. So actually I would probably put Feeney there if he didn't get injured. But yeah, looks okay. We got Manager of the Month for April. That's the only accolade this season for anyone. Player of the season was Phillips, the goalkeeper. Absolutely insane season. The second half when we were managing him, he was insanely good. I can't believe how good he was actually for where they were in the league. Young player of the season, Feeney, definitely. He's played really well this season. Signing of the season we've already looked at. Goal of the season we looked at. Top goal scorer is Afolabi with 17 goals. Most assists is Lewis Potter with 9. Player of the match was Terrace. Highest average rating was Terrace. And then most passes was Simmons. He's a good passer. And then most assists by a player in a season was 9 by Vaughan. Odd that most assists went to Potter and then Vaughan's got the record, but there and there. Most clean sheets by a player in the season, 16 clean sheets by Phillips, insane. And youngest goal scorer, 17 years old, is when we gave that Sejini player a chance. So yeah, interesting. So we're going to leave it there, and we're going to come back for the start of next season with transfers and stuff. Let's just have a quick look at our initial budgets. 300 grand per week and 3.9 million. So not great. We might have to sell some players before we can do much, but we're going to see what we can do at strengthening the squad, bringing in some youth to develop as well. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and come back next time to see how we're going to do next season after a pretty successful first season with Hull, I think. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.